one of the duties, one of the responsibilities, one of the things I really care about is being there for my CEO and for the other chief officers, the other executives at the table, because it is a lonely place. And so really having that outlook, having someone look in on you, being able to know that you can have that confidant is really a priority, in my opinion, of a head of people.
It's been really eye-opening and I think really beneficial to me as a leader to have that different outlook on what an HR professional, especially someone who's very senior and very sophisticated, can do to drive your business.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today on Scaling with People podcast. I have Skyler Mattson here today. She's the president of WONGDOODY, a human experience company powered by Infosys. She has built her career driving award-winning transformative work for clients across a range of categories, from consumer packaged goods to technology to education. She's the founder of Motherboard, a global community of thousands of moms who share insights to help Fortune 500 companies innovate. The Motherboard was awarded Fast Company as a world-changing idea. That's so cool. Skyler has led several female empowerment initiatives, including hashtag The Real 10, which aims to close the gender pay gap, and hashtag I Pump Here, which encourages workplaces to provide better facilities for breast pumping employees. Putting philosophy into action, Skyler frequently lectures at Pepperdine University, speaks at industry events, and writes about the importance of bringing more diverse voices and perspectives to marketing and technology. She has been a delegate to the World Economic Forum and proudly serves as a board member for the Infosys Foundation. Skyler thrives in high-energy environments where you rarely sit down, which is a good thing since her clients at home include 3 energetic sons. Thank you so much, Skyler, for joining. I'd love to learn a little bit more about you and your business.
Thank you, Guinevere. It is so great to be here chatting with you. So I am president of WONGDOODY. We are a global creative agency. I've been with the company for 21 years. So when I started, I know, right? It's even hard for me to believe when I say it. When we started, I was the 15th employee brought into our Los Angeles office. And today we are 1,600 people in 21 studios around the world. And what we do is a range of marketing, branding. We were founded as an advertising agency, so there's a lot of that in our core, but also a lot of experience design work, UX, UI, user journeys, digital products. And the reason we now do that is because 5 years ago, we were acquired by an Indian tech company called Infosys. And they infused a ton of capital and resources into our company, which allowed us to have this massive growth over the past 5 years. So it's incredibly exciting. And certainly my role as president, I ran a company that was 125 people only 5 years ago, and now it's 1,600. So it has become a lot more challenging and a lot more exciting, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so exciting. So you and I worked together recently. Tell me, what led you to searching for HR support?
Well, what led me to searching for HR support is our head of HR put in her 2-week notice. Now we are 1,600 people. We are a global company, and she reported into me, and I immediately panicked. I had no idea what to do in 2 weeks when she was gone. So I immediately called you, Guide to HR. I knew you would be there for me. The tricky thing was she gave 2 weeks notice, and I really wanted to bring somebody in the interim while we searched for the right candidate. And that candidate could have potentially turned into our long-term solution. But my immediate need was get someone in here ASAP, give them at least, hopefully, a week overlap with our current HR lead to help understand the type of organization we are. And at its most basic, make sure that people still get their paychecks and make sure that nobody's benefits are at jeopardy. And that's what I called for in a panic.
So tell me a little bit about what Guide to HR has brought in. You kind of talked a little bit about what you were hoping they were going to do. Like, I remember that phone call with you and just like, you were definitely panicking. I'm like, it's okay. We're going to get this. We're going to do this for you. Tell me, what was your experience in that moment of that phone call? And also kind of what was the process in working with Guide to HR and finding the right person to come in for your interim support?
Well, Guinevere, I have to tell you that in that 30-minute phone call, you completely put me at ease. I think my blood pressure went back down to a normal level. So I want to thank you for your confidence and your calm when I called you in a panic. You immediately reassured me that you understood what we were looking for, that your network was vast enough that you could very quickly come back to me with a few, not even just one, but a few potential candidates. And I think we actually spoke on a Friday and you said, I'm going to work through the weekend on this and we'll talk on Monday. And I thought, how on earth in over the course of a weekend, and also how grateful was I that you said you'd work over a weekend, that on Monday you'd be able to come back with candidates that were right for a 1,600 person global organization. And I had gone through with you some of the intricacies of being owned by Infosys, but operating as WONGDOODY. And you said, I've got this. And I was still a little nervous, to be honest.
Of course, yeah.
My blood pressure, right? My blood pressure went back to a normal level, but I was still a little nervous until we spoke on Monday. And when we spoke on Monday, I was pretty blown away.
And we came to you with 3 different candidates, if I recall correctly.
That's right. So what I was blown away with is one, how detail-oriented and how professional you are. I mean, obviously I expected you to be professional, but because we were working at such a condensed timeline, I expect you to send me like LinkedIn quick links and names. I didn't expect you to put together a PowerPoint deck where you outlined understanding our needs, where you had 3 candidates with headshots, with detailed input on their backgrounds, and not just the laundry list, but you had selected things that you knew I was looking for in a candidate. I thought all 3 candidates would actually be completely qualified and do well. I shared the deck with my executive leadership team. We went through, everybody agreed that all 3 candidates were absolutely viable. We selected one, and I think it was because she had maybe M&A experience or a little something special that the other 2 candidates did not. And then I think once we selected her, you helped me set up a call with her within 24 hours, which was, I was still like, I can't believe this is happening so quick.
Well, we knew you were in a time crunch, right? And we wanted to make sure that whoever we brought on to support you would have that download before your head of people left. So I'm glad we were able to make it happen so quickly for you. So what value did Guide to HR bring to you and your team that you expected we would bring and that we actually did?
I expected that you would eventually find some candidates that would be viable. So that was right on. I think I didn't expect that it would happen so quickly. I didn't expect that there would be this sort of white glove concierge experience, which I just thought was so amazing. I felt like every step of the way, you would send me something, you would follow up to make sure I got it. You'd ask me if I had any questions. And then when we actually selected the candidate, I thought you'd be, okay, you know, you have someone, off you go. But every step of the way, you would check in, you would ask how things are going, you would ask if our timing had changed. And we were in a unique situation because we didn't know how long it would take us to find our long-term person. And truth be told, the candidate that you found for us would have been our long-term person if they had lived in a city where we had a studio. We uncovered during their stay with us that we really needed HR to be in one of our locations because we're such a culturally driven company, but they absolutely could have been the right candidate. And throughout the whole process, just having you check in with them, because I knew that they were connecting with you. It just felt like we were all on the same page, and I just felt very well taken care of.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, it's important. I mean, you trusted me with your business and the people that run your business and taking care of them. And that's a big piece of, like, I mean, I don't even know how to say it, a big piece of the pie, right? A big piece of like what life is all about. And you trusted that with me. And I definitely take really good care and want to make sure that you're getting what you need from me, from the team members that are working for me, for you. So it's really wonderful to hear that. Thank you so much, Skyler. So question on the opposite end, what value did we bring to you and your team that you didn't expect?
Well, I learned something that I think I knew, but I didn't take as seriously as I do now from working with you. And that's that HR is such an important part of moving business forward. I always understood the part about people and taking care of our people, and certainly people are our most valuable asset. But I think in one of our conversations, we were talking about this person being on the leadership team and having a seat at the table regarding where the business was going. And I've definitely changed my perspective on the role of HR in business. The role of HR isn't to only take care of our people. It's to help propel the business forward and to uncover how people can help do that. And so it's been really eye-opening and I think really beneficial to me as a leader to have that different outlook on what an HR professional, especially someone who's very senior and very sophisticated, can do to drive your business, to grow your business.
Yeah, so that actually leads me to a completely different question really quickly, sidebar with you. When you talked about being the president of a company of 150 employees, and then over 5 years, you scaled up really quickly to 1,600 employees. And during that time, the level of HR professionals you had, do you feel like if you could go back to your younger self, would you drive how you structured your HR team differently? And if so, how?
That is such a great question. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, we had mid-level HR leads in positions, and truly we wanted to make sure they kept our people happy, supported. We had great benefits that were negotiated every year, but really our HR leads would travel around the country and they'd go to our studios and they'd have one-on-ones with people. What I would have changed is years ago, having a senior leader in that position, a well-seasoned HR executive, someone like the consultant you found us, to build a team under them and then have them weigh in on some of the business decisions. I think that we did not give HR the credit it deserved in terms of the effect it can have on business. And as long as payroll was being met and benefits were being met and our people had someone to go to if they wanted training or they needed support or they had a challenge, we felt like that was enough. And that is the base level of HR. That's nowhere near exactly what it can be. So yeah, I kind of wish I would have met you 5 years ago.
May not have realized though that you needed that until now, but I appreciate you sharing that, because that is such this true story of so many of the founders and CEOs that I connect with, that I work with. They don't realize how much value an HR executive, someone with a lot of experience, can actually bring to the table. Yes, you need the administrative stuff. Yes, you need to make sure you pay people correctly on time, right? Two important, very different things, but also benefits and other things. But when you're a small startup company where every penny counts and you got to build your product, you got to go market, you got to get sales, HR is typically one of the last groups. And so that's one of the things that when I created my business, I want to be able to bring that to the table in a fractional way. I know we work together in an interim way, but also in a fractional way to bring that. Maybe only 5 hours a month is all you need, all you can afford, but hey, it's better than nothing, right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
So I think you said it before, but I'll just ask, what was the best thing about working with Guide to HR?
Guinevere, you are the best thing about working with
I did not cue you up. I did not pay you to say that. I promise.
Folks watching this, there was no payment made for this. There was a lot of tangible business things I learned working with you, but I really think overall it was that peace of mind. I was in a panic when our HR lead left. I didn't think I could bring somebody in as quickly. Not only did I bring somebody in, but I had you to check in with and to ask questions of and to check in with me. It's a sad truth that as a leader, no one's really checking in on you. And it's okay. I mean, it's an absolute privilege to be in the position I'm in. But when someone calls and says, how are things going? How are you? How is it working out with your new consultant? It feels really good. It's really weight off of your shoulders in the sense that it's not all on you and you're not alone. And so I felt very much like I had a wonderful partnership with you and that you had my back. And regardless of what happened, I knew I could call you if I had challenges. I mean, everything worked out really perfectly, but I knew even if it didn't, you'd be there for me. And I'm super grateful.
Oh, well, thank you, Skyler. Yeah, I think you nailed it too. I think you're right. As leaders, I mean, even I've never been a president. I mean, I'm CEO of my own business, but it's different than a big business, right? I've never been in that level, but as a chief people officer, I understand it is it's a very lonely. I think the CPO and the CEO are probably the two loneliest roles, maybe the CFO too, having keep, the dirty, dark secrets of the financials, right? But
Right.
when you get up there, it is a very lonely place to be. And so knowing that, like, from my perspective, one of the duties, one of the responsibilities, one of the things I really care about is being there for my CEO and for the other chief officers, the other executives at the table, because it is a lonely place. And so really having that outlook, having someone look in on you, being able to know that you can have that confidant is really a priority, in my opinion, of a head of people role. So I'm glad that you called that out. And it's really challenging. But know that I'm always here. Even though you're no longer a client of mine, you found your number one, you moved on, which is great. That was the hope, right? That's the hope. Like, I come in, I band-aid the situation, help you find your person, and then move on. So, but I'm always here, always just a phone call away.
I know you are, and you're in my phone, and you're one of the most important numbers in my phone. And, things happen over the course of business and a career and other jobs. And I feel like that I have you in my contacts. I'm good.
Awesome. Well, me too. I feel the same way. So thank you, Skyler. Anything else that you'd like to share about your experience with me or Guide to HR, or just anything else that you feel like you wish that you could share out to CEOs and other co-founders and co-founders out there, your secret sauce of like what you wished you had known back then that you know now?
I think I covered most of the top line things. I feel like if I say any more, people are really going to think that you paid me for this. But I would just say, if you're in a leadership position and you need help with one of the most important executive roles, which is an HR lead, then I can't imagine a better partner than Guinevere and Guide to HR.
Awesome. Thanks, Skyler. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time. I love working with you guys, and I hope we have an opportunity to do so again in the future, but not in a panic mode, in a more,
right.
fun way.
Let's do it with a 2-month timeline, not a 2-week.
Yeah. Or a project based, right? You want to implement a new system. Happy to help.
I love it.
So
I know where to find you.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.